The pandemic has further highlighted the need to bridge the existing digital divide within the country and to create a far-reaching impact for students from underserved communities. EdTech Decacon BYJU'S launched its flagship social impact initiative, Education for All, that now marks its one-year milestone. Within a year, the initiative has impacted 3.4 million children across 26 states and 340-plus districts. On its one-year anniversary, BYJU'S Education for All has revised its goals to empower 10 million children by 2025 through high-quality digital learning from 5 million, which was decided at its launch. To talk about BYJU'S Education for All initiative and the road ahead for the company, joining us now is its co-founder, Divya Gokulnath. Divya, welcome to Startup Street. Now, BYJU'S launched Education for All to provide free learning content to students, especially from the disadvantaged sections of society. And the program has already impacted, like I said, the lives of 3.4 million children. You've reached out a far more better number, the students that you expected to reach. How have you been able to do that, and what makes you bullish on achieving your revised target of reaching out to 10 million children by 2025?
Yeah, you're right. When we started, we actually kept a target of 5 million students. The response has been so good that we revised that to 10 million by 2025. So one reason we fast-tracked this program by at least 2 years was because there was no time to lose when millions of children were shut out of their schools because of the pandemic. The pandemic widened the learning gaps even further. But if you ask me, right, the new normal is also an opportunity to address the deficiencies of the old normal. Remote learning, hybrid learning, all of this, which became a necessity due to the pandemic, it has the potential to bridge the physical learning divide digitally. So this education inequality crisis, it's actually a trilemma involving cost, quality, scale. So high quality education at massive scale, it involves a very high cost. And there is no point in scaling up mediocre content to keep the cost low. So I'm going to explain what BYJU'S Education for All is in very simple words. High quality education content at zero cost that is being scaled across India. And that's why it worked. Our approach was very different. We're working with more than 110 NGOs across the country, including Smile Foundation, Akshaya Patra. I'm just naming a few of them, including very marginalized, those who work with very marginalized communities to provide quality education free to millions of underserved children across all the states of India. So what we're trying to do is address 3 deprivations with one arrow: device, internet access, and quality content. So in a way, you can say it's our attempt to bring the school to the child when the vice versa cannot happen. And the reason I'm saying all of this is that for most of these children, this learning app is their primary mode of learning. So we have a mix of students who either stopped going to school, they never went to school, also first generation learners in their family. So this is the reason, Shruti, I'm saying that, looking at the response and after looking at the kind of traction that it has got, where it's not just about access, but it's also about continued
Absolutely.
progress. And
yes. Divya, like you mentioned, you said BYJU'S has partnered with over 110 non-profit organizations. I believe the educational content is loaded onto the devices with free access for students and the teachers. So take me through the model. If you could elaborate on how your NGO partners, on-ground facilitators, and of course students are now using the BYJU'S app as a primary mode of learning. Tell us, how does it all work?
Yes, so this worked because it's a multi-stakeholder approach where there are multiple parties involved. So we provide the content free of cost. Now the devices could come from the NGOs. It could also come from the BYJU'S Give initiative, where we've crowdsourced devices and loaded the learning content on it for free, and then it's distributed across India. So the NGOs are helping us identify the right kind of students who need to be empowered with this, and that's why we've been able to scale and basically help the right students learn and grow from this. Impact studies and assessment starts from day one. So we have a lot of internal assessments which go on, third-party assessments which go on. So we know to do our interim assessment reports that over half of the students are attributing performance improvements because of learning this way. So this is how we are actually doing this. And if you look at the product in itself, it works online, it works offline. So even in very remote areas without internet connectivity, it can be scaled, it can be used, and it can be learned from.
All right. Hi, Divya. Arundhati here. You're also working with the Niti Aayog to provide high-quality test preparation coaching to 3,000 students across 112 aspirational districts of classes 10 and 11 who aspire to appear for NEET and JEE. This is a key market. So what's the kind of traction you've seen here? And can you take me through the India expansion plans?
Yes, so if you ask me, that's a very special project. These are the most aspirational districts of the country, and these 3,000 students would probably have never even known the kind of future that can lie ahead for them if they go for an engineering or a medical entrance exam, the kind of success it can create for them. So right from helping them understand, first it's about identifying these 3,000 meritorious students, which we're doing with the help of Niti Aayog. Then it's about taking them through the process, equipping them with the right kind of content, coaching them, mentoring them, guiding them, and then eventually taking them up to the final step of taking the exam and making them successful in it. So, and you also asked me, Arundhati, about the future plans, right? So the way it's going, what we want to do, and our aspiration is that for every paid student on our app, we want to onboard one student through BYJU'S Education for All. We're positive that will happen because we're seeing the traction on it. We're seeing the way students are learning from it, how it's their primary mode of learning, and how it's benefiting them, they're enjoying learning and also delivering better learning outcomes.
Right. In fact, BYJU'S also has plans to take this EFA model global to other geographies. So what countries are you eyeing? How will the playbook evolve for other geographies?
So if you look at math, science, all of these subjects, math is math anywhere in the world. Right. And the importance of education, especially in developing and underdeveloped countries, it's so much higher. So this model can be easily scaled because the content is already created. And that's what I spoke about initially. The reason it can scale is because once you have the right kind of content, technology can help you scale that at literally zero cost. So we could go to any part of the world. So because the content can be easily adapted in multiple languages. So it could be Africa, it could be anywhere else. And we're working on it. I can share once we have a little more clarity as to how and when we're doing it. But it's definitely, so A is to go deeper in India.
Sure.
We've launched it in multiple regional languages. It's already available in 11 languages so that students can learn in a language that they're comfortable in.
Okay.
Apart from that, we also have plans to take it global, like you said.
Okay. So while I understand, Divya, that the technology can be scaled to other geographies, tell me what is the kind of learning impact the app has had on students? You know, if you could share some statistics. Also, what is the kind of feedback you've received from your partners?
Yes, so the way we do it, so if you look at these 110 NGOs also, so it's a very mutual selection process. So we are as keen about the right kind of NGOs as they are about us as an education partner. So we've been, from day one, we've been looking at how the app is able to impact the child's learning journey. So we do multiple assessment reports. And right now what we've done is we've also done a lot of third-party research where we've seen that students have reported, 57% of the students have reported a performance improvement because of BYJU'S. More than half of them say that they attribute that they enjoy learning and it's not because of external pressure. They enjoy learning and that's why they're learning from us. So these are the kind of numbers that we're seeing that is coming out from this. And another, I think, very important point to note, and this is something that we've been cognizant of since the inception of the program, it's very diverse, it's very inclusive. Half the students are girls.
Okay.
So,
all right. Divya, now let's quickly shift focus to some of the announcements that were made for the education sector in the union budget. The government continues to approach education reforms with a digital-first mindset. One class, one TV channel for supplementary education in school was announced. Desh Stack for upskilling India's youth and virtual labs for developing critical thinking skills. Now, there are also plans to connect all villages with optical fiber by 2025, proposed digital university with a personalized learning experience. Your thoughts on all of these?
Yes, there is a massive push from the government for digitization, and that's really good because, like I spoke about, all of us are cognizant of the learning loss that has happened. There are studies which attribute a huge generational loss because of the pandemic hitting us. Digitization is one way we could solve the inequities that exist in the physical world. And through multiple initiatives like this, the government has taken a lot of positive steps to ensure that learning is distributed to parts of the country where they really need it. And if you look at the NEP, the National Education Policy also gives a lot of focus on future skills like critical thinking, which will help the youth of today prepare for the unforeseen jobs of tomorrow.
All right. In fact, India's leading edtech startups, including BYJU'S, recently grouped together to adopt a self-regulatory code and adhere to a common code of conduct. So what do you hope to achieve, and how does the two-tier grievance redressal mechanism help regulate the sector?
Yes, so if you, so there are 2 to 3 reasons. Like one is where we can have a group of people. We are all here together to ensure that if there is any sort of because it's a nascent sector, it's a growing sector, it is a very exciting sector, but a high impact sector as well. So when we are there together in it, we are able to come together and quickly solve problems that will be there as part of a stepping stone of any journey where we're growing this fast. So one is that, but if also on the other side, there are a lot of learnings that we can take together as a team where we can all learn from each other, because this is a new segment. There is no rule book, there is no playbook for success. We are writing this. This is an opportunity to create something from India to the world. Here we have an opportunity to create something massive. So education is one segment where it's not a cut, copy, paste model of anything else which has been done globally. So there is a huge opportunity for us to create from India to the world. So there is an opportunity to learn from each other. So it's twofold. So we set up this, and this was, we were anyway planning to set up a body. This has been in talks for over a year now. And so one side is to also ensure that we are able to take care of the budding issues that are there as part of a growing sector. But the other is also to come together, different companies come together, learn and grow and achieve together.
Divya, speaking about learnings, there's also been a lot of concern on aggressive sales and marketing by BYJU'S and its acquired companies. How do you plan to address this and provide training and, most importantly, sensitization on ground?
Yeah, see, if as part of any growing company, there will be a lot of learnings which we can take. Now, I think the most important thing here is to listen and grow. And any company which is growing at scale, when they listen and grow, they will, and if they have the right intent, right? It's always about the right intent. Now, if you have the right intent, you can take feedback and you can grow from it, you can learn from it, and you can become better.
All right. You've been on an acquisition spree. You've done 10 acquisitions just last year. Any more acquisitions anytime soon? And what kind of war chest have you kept ready for M&A this year?
So I wouldn't see, okay, although we call them acquisitions, they're actually very strong partnerships. And if you look at the kind of companies who have partnered with us, right, from a Tinker to an Osmo to an Epic to an Akash, all of these founders, they've added to the founder mentality on the board. One thing that's worked for us is people strength at BYJU'S, be it the founding team of 6 who are all here today, or the extended founding team that we've added on because of all of these partnerships. This is one thing that is helping us scale to multiple geographies, add more products. So increase the TAM, go deeper, create more value for the student, because we are very student-centric. What we intend to do is create something better for each and every student. And as we become a global organization also, each of our products, what we want it to be is, while it's a global product, it has to be, it also has to be localized to every country and customized to every learner. So that's what we want to do with all of these partnerships on board with us.
Right. So will you be also looking to raise more funds anytime soon?
See, all the investments have been for future growth. And so it's always been about, can we do more and can we do better? So it's as much about inbound interest as it has been about, the right kind of investors who've been partners. So.
All right. Okay. Divya, reports suggest you're looking to list in the US via SPAC. Can you confirm this? And what is the timeline you're looking at?
It's an aspiration for every Indian company to be, listed globally. And it also is something good to look up to. So while I cannot confirm right now, we are looking at options where we may list in India, we may list globally.
Okay.
But nothing is finalized.
But will it be in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months? Any timeline you can give us?
That depends on which route we are going to. So that's why I cannot comment on it.
Okay. All right. One final question, Divya, before I let you go. If you could throw some light on the road to profitability and where do you plan to close this fiscal?
Yeah. So see, all our businesses, our Indian businesses, our core business is already profitable. All the investment, like I said, is for our future products. It is to expand globally. And we doubled our revenue last year, and we are on track to do the same in the coming year. So in terms of impact, we plan to scale. We plan to double the learners who are there with us, because for us, impact is all about increasing reach, but it's also about having more depth and content. It's about having more product portfolios. So that will be the plan for the year ahead.
All right, Divya. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. We're completely out of time, and we wish you all the best for your journey ahead.
Thank you.